Hey guys, it's Holly. So today I have another LEGO Star Wars review for you, and this is a set that I didn't think I was actually going to stumble upon today, and that is the Hoth Trooper Command minifigure pack. That's not the name of this. Hoth Trooper minifigure pack. I genuinely can't remember, but I did really want this set. Now this is set 40557, and this was initially supposed to come out on January 1st. However, it only launched in Europe. Everywhere else got delayed. Even in Australia, this isn't appearing on Shop at Home. I went into the LEGO store and they just happened to have it. I saw some guy walking out with one of them and I was really excited. Honestly, I was looking for Snowtrooper battle packs, but I mean, this is a pretty close second considering, you know, these just aren't on shelves. Now, I'm a huge fan of Hoth. It's definitely my favorite planet and some of my favorite scenes out of the entirety of Star Wars, so I'm really excited to get this set. I did only pick up one though. I didn't bother getting two because I did get the ATST and I feel like that's enough for me. I would much rather more snowtroopers than sort of Hoth rebels, so yeah, there's that. But this set has been slowly showing up in LEGO stores, so go and check your local LEGO stores. Also check online because I feel like these could sell out pretty fast online too. So here is the minifigure pack put all together, and I'm in two sort of different mindsets. I really like the build, however, I feel like the minifigure selection isn't all that strong, but I'll explain that as we take a closer look at them. So first up, we have Male Trooper number 1, and this minifigure is the only one that isn't in the same sort of torso. He's got the more grey vest here and no leg printing, which is sort of a shame, but I think it looks perfectly fine. He's got the same blaster as everyone else as well, and they all share the same helmet and goggles combination. That's no surprise really for the sort of Hoth outfits. This one in particular has that sort of Draco Malfoy, Shang-Chi, Happy Hogan sort of easily reused face here. Nothing too special or interesting. However, I personally prefer it to the angry clone face, so I think it works really well in this case. Next up, we have female Hoth Trooper, who has a really nice face print that I've personally never seen before. It is single-sided, unfortunately, though, which is really frustrating because I feel like at least with these minifigure packs, having two faces, if you're buying multiple, you can have one sort of round one way and one round the other in order to sort of build your army. And it's kind of frustrating, but I really like it. It's also a flesh tone that we don't usually get too many faces from, so it's nice to have a tiny bit of variety. But overall, I really like the torso printing. I think it looks very slick, and it is actually slightly different to the next figure that I'm going to show you, and I love the added leg printing on this one. The back printing as well is really slick, however, it's kind of minimal. And lastly, there's Male Trooper number 2, who again comes along with that same blaster. However, he also comes with some good old snazzy Hoth binoculars. And it turns out his torso is actually the exact same as the female trooper, same with the leg printing. The only difference is the head, which I actually recognize from the Daily Bugle. So it's a pretty neat reuse though. I haven't seen this head pop up too many times, and it is, again, really nice to get some more head pieces, especially in cheap sets in different colors, especially for a trooper like this where you can have the goggles sort of on the helmet or covering the face. So starting off with the smallest part of the build, and you get these two little radio controllers featuring that newer print style that was first introduced in late 2020. This is actually the first time I've ever seen this newer print, and personally I really like it. The build for these though is incredibly weak, and I don't really find a use for them. They're just sort of there, I feel like, to make up a tiny bit more of the parts count. And this by far is definitely the weakest part of the build in this pack. Next up are these two blaster sort of turret type things, which are actually built really interestingly. They're built up of a variety of different cylindrical pieces, and the bases are actually made using the sort of regular typical black Star Wars blasters. So if you've ever wanted to have multiples of these, if you bought like a ton of clones or something off Bricklink that just didn't come with a blaster, honestly this pack could be pretty helpful to not only build your Hoth army, but instead of actually building the build, you could just steal the blasters off of these, since you get 6 in total. And overall the design is pretty good, and for how simple it is as well, incredibly effective. I really like the design of both of these, and I'm glad that you get 2 in order to really bulk up the defense of this set. And lastly, you get this little snow cannon, which is built up on a base using 2 3x3 plates, and it also has a bunch of little like sort of snow rocky pieces in order to give it some extra terrain and extra depth, which I thought was really cool. And then the build for this is actually pretty interesting. It's all done on this like swiveling Technic piece. That way you can rotate it all around and it makes it nice and simple. And then you've sort of got the blaster actually coming out of the back of this dish piece, which is sort of held together by a black bar piece altogether. I thought it was going to fall off pretty easily, but I actually haven't had any issues with it so far, which is amazing. On the back of it, you get another one of those control panel pieces, and this time as well, there are some handlebars, so you can have one of the Hoth troopers there, sort of holding on to it and guiding the turret where it needs to go in order to fight the battle against the AT-ATs and the snow troopers, which I personally really like. It's a neat little touch, and I feel like quite a lot of these side by side would look really nice all together. So that is the Hoth minifigure pack, and I'm in two sort of mixed mindsets. On one hand, I'm really impressed with the little builds you get. While they aren't anything too amazing, I feel like there's quite a lot of value here. Compared to a lot of the other minifigure packs where I feel like they're quite weak, these actually suit really well, and I feel like they have a lot of substance to them. But I'm also in the sort of mindset where I look at the figures here, and I feel like they very easily could have done something similar to like they did with Harry Potter, and just put 4 in, since the torsos are pretty much the same. You could just replicate one of them and do a different head. That way you're not really utilizing too much budget, putting in new pieces or anything like that, as the pieces already exist in the set as is. I personally would have preferred 4 figures instead of 3. I just feel like it's a lot easier than for army building, having sort of like an even number rather than odd. But I mean, most minifigure packs do have 3 figures, so I'm also not surprised. Overall, I really like this set, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel like that much value. Although, like I said, I definitely really like the builds in this one compared to a lot of other minifigure packs. So I do have to put this pretty highly upon the minifigure pack rank. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you later.